You are listening to the Pinax Report.
Pinax Report.
Pinax Report.
The Pinax Report.
Pinax Report.
Pinax Report.
Live only on Pinax TV.
So there is currently a wave that is across Africa about coup and protests all over some countries in Africa. Apparently, we were hearing that of Togo, but today, Kenya is also in the news for a protest that is going on in the country and on the streets of Nairobi. My brother Chris is here and has a lot of information on this issue. Chris, what is currently happening in Kenya?
Yes, so in Kenya, the youth are protesting something similar to what's happening currently in Togo.
Okay.
They are protesting against high cost of living and now taxes that they've embedded on the citizens amidst the high cost of living. Then corruption as well. People are calling for the cancellation of these taxes, and now they are calling for the removal of President Ruto. There was this vlogger, a 31-year-old vlogger, who also died amidst this protest, which even sparked the youth the more to protest more against this current Ruto government.
Okay.
And now we have the BBC reporting Kenya protest coup attempt, says minister. So now the updates that we have now is that Kenya's interior minister is saying that all these protests, people are trying to use that protest to conduct a coup against the current government.
To take over from
the government. So something that the people were trying to democratically voice out their emotions
and
about grievances about high taxes and high cost of living amidst the corruption that is attached to the current government. Now the interior minister is saying that the protests are all attempts to conduct a coup. So this is what the BBC reported and the updates on the Kenya protest.
Okay, so going deeper into what the interior minister says about the protest being a way of taking over from the incumbent government. Did he state into details why he thinks this is a way of taking over from the government?
Yes, so I think we should go through what we have from BBC. Now, Kenya's interior minister has denied that the police used excessive force during Wednesday's protest, in which at least 10 people were killed.
Okay.
Describing them as terrorism disguised as dissent and an unconstitutional attempt to change the government. So this is what, you see, when a minister says something like this, I mean, it even sparks the anger in the youth the more, because they were just trying to, voice out their grievances. And now you're telling them it's some kind of a coup. So now this is what they are reporting from the interior minister. So now his name is Kichumba Mokomen.
Okay.
He thanked the security agencies for their remarkable restraint amid extreme provocation, crediting them with helping to foil an attempted coup. In addition to the 10 deaths, more than 400 others were injured, including about 300 police officers, he said. So he's describing the whole thing as some kind of a terrorism attack in the country.
Okay.
The protest that they've termed it as the Gen Z protest, now he's looking at it with a bigger picture, calling it a terrorist, let's say a terrorist attack.
Okay.
So this is what the BBC is currently reporting.
So if I understand you clearly, from what we just read, the interior minister is trying to say that as the protest was ongoing, the security agencies that were trying to guard them on their protest didn't really use much of excessiveness on them to warrant the protest to escalate. Is that it?
That's what he's trying to say. But if you watch the videos carefully, there is tear gas, there is smoke, there is hot waters and all that, trying to disperse the crowd.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, we know these things happen in protest. Even in Ghana here, probably we've seen a couple of them some time ago. But for you to come out and pour more anger, fuel the anger that the youth is already having within them by telling them they are not democratically trying to venge their plea to the government, but they are trying to conduct a coup.
Okay.
I mean, this sparks so much anger in the youth.
Okay, so based on what you are saying, can we say that with the statement the interior minister is bringing out, it will try to fuel some kind of ideas into the minds of people who don't even have that ideology of conducting a coup or taking over from the government?
Yes, so I don't know whether I should say it is the minister himself who is trying to fuel that, because now the last resource that they are seeking for is the resignation of President William Ruto.
Okay.
Now they want him either to resign or, I mean, just leave power.
Okay.
So that is what they are. That is the last resource that they are falling on. And if this should happen, probably there should be a takeover. Do you understand? There should be a takeover. So as he is saying that, because they started talking about President Ruto leaving power,
Okay.
probably handing over power to a very different person because of all the, I mean, discrepancies, I mean, economic stagnation, high cost of living. Because of all these things, they are tired and they want him out of office. So if we want to go on now, he is saying, the interior minister, we condemn the criminal anarchists who, in the name of peaceful demonstrations, unleashed a wave of violence, looting, sexual assault, and destruction upon our people. He said, key government installations and offices were targeted in the protest. He added, with 9 police stations attacked, 5 of which were torched, and 5 guns stolen. Dozens of vehicles belonging to the police, government, civilians were destroyed, he said. So now he's trying to paint the protesters very black in the face of the international bodies.
Okay.
Do you understand? That is what he is trying to do. Trying to, now the citizens sees it as he's trying to cover all the rots in the President Ruto's government. Then he's speaking about, I mean, what is going on, or he's speaking bad about the protesters in the face of the international bodies.
Okay, so speaking of President Ruto, how long has he been in power?
Well, he's been vice president. He came to power in 2022. So 22, 23, 24, 25. I mean, like 4 years now that he's been in power. But you see, in May 2024, that is when they started bringing all these high taxes to the people of Kenya.
Okay.
And they started protesting against it. But now, when it got to the implementation, they started talking about the fact that they should cancel all those taxes because they're already having higher cost of living. Now, they've put in taxes on basic amenities, even sanitary pads that even women wear.
Okay.
Some basic amenities that you know that people will be using, electronic gadgets like mobile phones, laptops, and all that. Some of these basic things. Now, what the government is trying to tell them is that they are trying to put these taxes on these things, these gadgets that are being imported.
Okay.
So that at least the local companies will also gain roots. But we know that some of these things are not produced in Kenya.
Okay.
Most of them are imported. So knowing very well that you are not making any way for some of these things to be produced in your country, yet you are putting taxes on these imported goods, which in the other way will increase the prices of these goods, these basic needs that people need, and increase the cost of living. So I don't know how they would want to, go about this whole thing just to, punish the people of Kenya. So this is what has sparked this whole, protest.
So as we speak, is the protest still ongoing, or per your information, it has been halted?
The protest, it was very massive on Wednesday.
Okay.
Do you understand? That is a week today.
Okay.
It was very massive a week today. So it was a follow-up from the interior minister who came out to speak about the protest, and now he's telling the general public that this is just an attempt to conduct a coup. Now we have some of the Kenyans speaking. I'm in so much pain. David was my firstborn, and he was my helper.
So she lost her son.
Mother of one of those killed on Wednesday. Now, 19-year-old David Mwangi, who lived in Nairobi's Mukuru informal settlement, was one of those who was shot dead. His mother told BBC that he was bystander who had gone to pick up his younger brother. So you see, I told you earlier that there's a vlogger who has died.
Okay.
So there are other people who have also died, and with the BBC's interview, these people were
sharing their
sentiments and all that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that is all about what is happening in Kenya as it stands now. We've seen that a couple of people have lost their lives, and the citizens are also craving for their freedom and also resignation of their president. We'll continue to follow up on this issue, and we assure you to give you more updates on this.